Hey y'all, welcome back. We're back at it again on the Amazon. This is a 1963 Volvo 122 that I bought a couple weeks ago now. Got it running, got it driving, and I'm just kind of waiting on parts to show up at this point. We're gonna do a few things over the coming. So the main thing I'm gonna do is replace this radiator with an aluminum unit. There's nothing wrong with this radiator per se. It's just very old. It looks like it will spring a leak at any moment. And I found a great deal on a new manufactured aluminum unit on eBay. Waiting on a bunch of other parts. Also going to order up an exhaust for the thing because the exhaust that's on here is getting ready to fall off. And apart from those two things, really the main focus needs to be rust repair and also fuel line replacement. But I don't want to start cutting metal in this thing and make it immobile before mountain meet. So I'm just going to concentrate on a few mechanical things. Oh, I'm going to put a new thermostat in it as well and new radiator hoses when I do the radiator. So I'm just going to kind of concentrate on some low-hanging fruit. I did disassemble the whole carb linkage the other day and replaced their little bushings there. They did not exist prior to this. Greased everything up so it's much smoother now. I did put the correct return spring there. I did not realize that there were two, so I'm going to order up a second one of those. They're pretty cheap. The other thing that I really need to do is address the suspension on this thing. So exhaust and suspension are the next two things. I'm going to prioritize the rear suspension on the car, which you can see back here. And I'm not going to do it because, you know, the car's up on jack stands and everything's rusty and a little sketchy. But when you drive this thing, you can hear the rear suspension clunk around, and it acts like the whole pinion is moving, you know, like 10 degrees up and down or something. So like all the bushings back here are blown out. They're all just old and ancient. So we're going to order some up. You actually, if I zoom in just right there, maybe. Yeah, you can see that's done. So we're going to order up some new ones from VP Auto Parts and get them installed. Since I'm under here anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put some new fluid, new oil rather, gear oil in the diff because I have it. So let me get set up for that and we'll do a quick video on that. So we're under the car here. This should be a fairly simple drain and fill. One thing that I have learned over the years is anytime you're dealing with something that doesn't get drained very often, differential, transmission, anything like that, you should always try and loosen the fill plug first, because if you know, the drain plug sits bathed in oil all the time and they're usually reasonably easy to get out. The fill plug sometimes is not below fluid level and it can get rusted in and corroded. So you drain your fluid, everything's looking good, and then all of a sudden you can't get the fill plug off, and then it becomes in a whole thing. You gotta pull the axle, you gotta pull the cover off, you gotta fill it nose down. It's a pain. So first step in all this should be, can I get the fill plug out? And someone has obviously been in here before. I don't know if you can really see on the video, but this side of the plug is not, I'm not gonna say rounded, but you know, it's been messed with. So we'll get our adjustable wrench as tight as we can. Oh, and it does, it wants to loosen up right away. So that is good news. Not quite loose enough for that yet. Cool. Alrighty, now that that is loose, let's go down to our drain plug, and hopefully it comes out with the same lack of drama the fill plug did. I don't use adjustable wrenches much, but for stuff like this that's square, it's you know, I'm sure they make square wrenches, but it's when it's between adjustable wrench or vice grips and stuff like this, I don't really want to chew it up. I'm always going to try an adjustable wrench first. So the fill plug also came out, or loosened up nice and easy. It's a moment of truth. Hopefully there's actually fluid in here. There may not be. Oh, there is. It's not much. Well, I guess it's enough. Okay, it's more than I thought. Okay. It's pretty old looking though, for sure. There was maybe, yeah, there's really not much in there. There was maybe half a quart. I don't know what the spec is for it, for capacity rather. More often than not, and I mean, I'll verify this before I do, but usually capacity on these things just says fill it until it runs out of the fill hole there. So that's probably what we're gonna do. But yeah, so that was pretty low drama. So now all that's left to do is to tighten up our fill plug here and then fill it up with gear oil. There we go. And then put another, just to be sure. Yep. Okay, that's done. All right, let me go grab some gear oil. I'll be right back. Looks like the spec for this is 1.3 liters. I have an assortment of gear oil laying around, so this is going to be a special blend of 75 W90 and 80 W90. But you know, look at the rest of the car here. It's not like a mix of gear oil is not going to be a problem for this thing. I do, as a side note, Valvoline got kind of smart and started putting gear oil in bags, which actually makes it very easy to put in tight spaces like this. There we go, without having to move a bottle around. So that's everything that was in that bag, which is about 1/3 of a liter probably. So I need about one more to go. I may wind up refilling that bag rather, because that's the only one of those I have. The rest is, I've got a gallon of gear oil somewhere, and then I have some that's left in here as well. So
I'm just gonna fill this up until it runs out the fill hole. And I know my hands are in the way. Sorry, it's kind of a. Ooh, look, there's a bottle in the diff. You ain't missing much here.
Got another partial bottle here.
I think this will do it. Well, I thought this would do it.
But I guess not quite. We got a little bit more to go. Let's see if I can feel the oil level at least. Oh, we're right there. Honestly, I could probably just leave it and it would be fine, but I want to do it the right way. Finish it off here. So let me refill the bottle. I'll be right back. This right here really should be the last of it. So. Yep, right there. That's all we needed. Cool. So I'm glad I did that, because there really was not much oil in there at all. In a perfect world, at one point they did make limited slips for these. In a perfect world, I would be able to find one of those. I kind of doubt that's going to happen, honestly, but we'll see. You know, like I said, I'd really like to run this thing as a course car in some stage rally events, and you definitely don't need four-wheel drive for that. I mean, most of the serious competitors they're running four-wheel drive, but for course cars, I mean, there's a ton of people doing regionals with front-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive stuff, and for course cars, you really don't need four-wheel drive. But a locker is definitely nice. Maybe we'll get there. And that's been a quick little video on how to drain and refill the gear oil in the differential of your Volvo 122. Not a whole lot of progress to be made this week, so just wanted an easy win, a little bit of low-hanging fruit. So, as always, thank you for watching. Thanks for sticking around. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to follow along, and like the video. That always helps too. So, until next time, thanks.